Morning, everyone. My name is Denise, and I'm an alcoholic.
Hi, Denise.
I have experience working these steps out of the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous with the help of a Big Book step study sponsor, a very patient and loving higher power. I am currently working on my living amends, practicing steps 10, 11, and 12 on a daily basis, practicing all of these principles in all of my affairs. Thank you so much for inviting me to join you up here this morning. Thank you. Lovely. Wow, there's so much in this reading that just was like smacking me in the head, like it's the first time I've ever read it. So I've been coming to this Saturday morning meeting for 21 years. I say that, right? This is my home group. I say that because I need to remember that I didn't just get here yesterday. Like, I've been working at this for quite some time, and this really works. This recovery, this way of living really works. I have seen a change in my life due to specifically doing to this work and specifically about this part. So when I got to Big Book Step Study, I was 7 years sober. I had been sponsoring myself for 4 years. I was a lot of fun to be around. No, I was not. Because why? Because I was under the influence of my own thinking. I believed everything I thought, and I reacted to every thought I had. And you know what I thought? I thought it was everyone else. I thought it was all of you. I thought, if only, and then fill in the blank, if only you would stop nagging me. If only you would do what you're supposed to. I don't know about anybody else, but before doing this work, I never took a clear look. I had no perspective about right here. None. Even though I'm with myself 24/7, nope. I had no clarity. None at all. I was lacking, right, in the ability to see my part in anything. So getting to this work was such a relief and a joy. Not when I first got here. When I first got to Big Book Step Study, I was so full of anger and resentment. It was oozing out of every pore in my body. I was so bound up in myself. This meeting used to be at St. Bernard's on Lincoln Street. I can tell you exactly where I sat. The back row, the third seat in from the left, right? And this is how I sat. Literally. What does that say? That says, don't come near me, because I don't want to hear it. I did not want to be there, but I needed to be. It was all God. So we moved to Worcester from South Boston. We got here. I was resentful. Every meeting I went to, I'm like, don't they know who I am? I got sober in Boston. Like, oh my God, I'm so arrogant. Really, friends, this is really right. I'm like, yeah. Meanwhile, I didn't tell anybody. Any meeting I went to, I didn't say, hey, I just got here to Worcester, I don't know anyone. No, I didn't say that. I expected people to read my mind. Story of my life. I expect you to know what I'm thinking, and I expect you to fix me, right? I want you to make me feel comfortable. Yet I'm not saying a word. And I'm just building up a case against you, right? God bless my husband. He's such a saint. So he gets the meeting list out, and he looks, and he finds this Saturday morning meeting, and he's like, he was driving to Boston to work every day, and I was home with our oldest son. You thought it was a dream come true, right? I'm a stay-at-home mom, the thing I wanted my whole life. You know what I wanted? I wanted to hurt someone. I was so miserable. It should have been the time of my life. My oldest boy was scared of me. You know why? Because I had become a rageaholic. Anything that came out at a high volume and a 4 speed, right? So what kind, recovery. I was not doing any recovery. I might have had sobriety, physical sobriety from alcohol, but I had no recovery. I was working no programs, zero. I was going to meetings and I was coming in late, leaving early, coming in late, leaving early, not saying a word to anyone. All bound up in self, right? That's just the way it was, that's what I needed to get here. So I went to the Saturday morning meeting begrudgingly. Had no idea. I had been to a big book step study when I was 2 years sober in Brookline Friday night. That's where I grew up and that's where I got sober. I found out you can get sober where you drank. It works. It works. People don't care. They're happy. They don't care. They're like, yeah, stop drinking. So I went to a big book step study there on a Friday night in Brookline. It was packed like this meeting. And somebody shut somebody off in the audience when they were trying to speak. And I was like, you never tell anyone to stop talking. They need to get that off their chest. In my mind, I didn't say that out loud to anyone. And I said, I'm not ever going to one of those meetings. They're all full of themselves. They think they know everything. Well, I didn't know anything. I didn't know that there's a design for living. I didn't know there's a process. I didn't know there were steps. I didn't know that, you want to share on the solution, not on the mess. I didn't understand that then. So coming to big book step study and coming to this portion, the fourth step, taking a look at myself. Resentment is the number one offender. It destroys more alcoholics than anything else. Powerful statement. First sentence in this, well, not the first, but what sticks out to me today? Resentment is the number one offender. Yes, it will kill me. It will kill me. I may not pick up a drink today, but I can pick up a lot of bad habits that could lead to, destructive behavior. We don't just die from active drinking. We can die a slow, painful, miserable death. I realize now that when I got here, I was very close to a drink, but I didn't know it. And I would have been really upset if someone had said that to me. What are you talking about? Because it was dangerously close because I was in my mind. I was believing everything I thought. So this work has helped me to see the sickness for what it is. On page 66, this is what always gets me is, others were wrong, I stayed sore, I fought, and matters got worse. That was what I did all the time. On my list, I could go as far back as kindergarten to the little boy, Peter, with brown hair, who cut me off in the milk line. I must have been like 6, and what did I do? I bit him. So, so maybe that's just what kids do, but to me, I'm like, ooh, I didn't like that, right? So, I retaliate, right? Yeah. We squander the hours that might have been worthwhile. I spent many years squandering hours, not just hours, days, weeks, months, years. It all built up to, there was nothing worthwhile going on for me. When I'm in my disease, I'm really ugly. I'm unpleasant, and I'm blaming and pointing fingers. It's not a happy place to be. The insanity of alcohol returns and we drink again. With us, to drink is to die. So it gives me a warning here. If I'm not going to do any work, it's entirely up to me. No one forced me to do this process. No one forced me. What happened for me is when I was sitting in the meeting, I was attracted. It's a program of attraction, right? So I heard and I saw the presence of God in all of you. I couldn't identify it then. I can today because I've been sitting here for quite some time. But I was attracted. I said, I want the peace and serenity they have, I want that. Do I want to do this work? Not so much. I like things to be given to me. Yeah, give me stuff. I understand today it's really important to do my own work. It's, that's how I grew my own wings. I need the butterfly, right? The caterpillar has to, go in the cocoon, and you have to, you don't have to, but that's the process. And you come out on the other side, and you've grown your own wings, and I've gotten a lot of help along the way. I didn't do this work by myself. I was guided by a sponsor who had a sponsor who was doing the work, We began to see that the world and its people really dominated us, right? I was consumed, so dominated, right? To be over something, right? I was consumed with what was going wrong in my life, and convinced that it was all of you. These resentments must be mastered, but how? We could not wish them away any more than alcohol, right? It was not, I wish everyone would be, kind to me. I wish everyone would be great. I wish everyone would leave me alone. I wish, that nothing, wishful thinking, what is that? That's me fantasizing. That's me being delusional. There's action that I need to take. I need to do this work. We avoid retaliation or argument. We wouldn't treat sick people that way. This is a sick man. When I was given the directions to do this writing, I was told to say the sick man's prayer for myself and for whoever I was writing about. So, the basic instructions, same as everybody's gotten, a third step prayer, write a list. Think of all the people that, irritate me. Or bothered me, or if I think of their name and I think, ew, they go on my list. I had a very hearty list, friends. When I did this work, I was, it was almost 20 years ago at this point, but, I was a lot younger, but I still had a full life. I had come into contact with a lot of people by the time I wrote my list. People, places, and institutions. The causes and effects, the cause, I was told, instead of writing a story, 10 words or less, to be very concise. I need to get to the point. See, I always have a story. You need to hear, listen, I gotta tell you, I love to tell stories. I gotta tell you what happened, what I was wearing, what they were wearing, what day of the week, what the sun, let me set the stage, just so you know that my resentment is justified. On and on and on, my sponsor was like, oh, no story, 10 words or less. She was on my list. 10 words or less, how are you gonna know? How are you gonna understand me? It's so important that I'm understood. Oh my God. And the effects totally eluded me. I did what I was told to do. In the beginning, I would pick one or two. I'm like, it might affect my self-esteem, maybe, or my personal relationships, maybe. But the longer that I was in it and writing it, the more I saw it affected everything. But these list of effects, to me, are all about my security. My personal security, right? Or emotional security or spiritual security, right? And all of those things get affected daily because I'm in the world with other humans who are trying to navigate this world. And being human, I have found, is really like awkward, uncomfortable, messy, confusing, joyful, funny. There's a lot of fun to be had, but, so I'm in the world with other people, so I get affected a lot, But, the bright spot or the beauty of this work was doing the turnarounds, right? There's the ticket, right? There's the awakening. When I had to look at my own part, we had to turn it around, So now, so I've had my good time writing it, everything that was done to me, and now I'm going to go back to each and every one of those resentments and look at it from an entirely different angle. What was my part? What did I do to set the ball in motion? Oop, I'll put on the brakes here, friends. Okay, so then I took some time off from writing. 2.5 years of mostly not writing, wicked painful for me. not for my sponsor. Anytime I called her and I was like, how's it going? You won't believe what happened. She'd give me like 5 minutes and then she'd be like, are you writing? And I'd be like, no. And she'd be like, call me when you are, click. Right? But she did the right thing. It's not her job to listen to me whine about me not getting my way. That's not the point. The point is she's here to guide me to do the work. Get back to the work, Denise. Pushing me to the solution. This is the solution. Where, poor me. So, no, poor me. Poor me, nothing. Do this work, Denise. Straighten out. See what's the truth. What is the truth, So where was I selfish, dishonest, self-seeking, and afraid? Whoever asked those questions, ever? Me? Never. Like, what? What? Selfish? I give you the shirt off my back. Like, I'm not selfish. Like, yeah. But don't take up too much of my time. There's where I was, don't ask me too many questions. Get out of my way while you're driving in front of me. And the self-seeking behavior, what did I do when I wasn't getting what I wanted? Oh, Lordy, that's really humbling. Right? What do? I criticize, I judge, I blame, I'm sarcastic. I withdraw. And I can do that, or withhold love, I can do that in plain sight. Not so much anymore. You can read me like a book. I'm pretty open now. You can see pretty much everything that's going on for me. But I used to be able to withdraw, oh, really? I don't think so. Never going to be your friend again. And that's all happening in my head while I'm talking to you. I'm like, what? But who knew? I needed this work to see how the disease manifests in me. What it tries to convince me of. And it's all lies. What's the dishonesty? What's the lie I'm telling myself? I'm telling myself, if you would be different, I'd be okay. What's the truth? The truth is that I need to be different. The truth is, I am not accepting things for the way that they are, right? I'm delusional. The inventory was ours, not the other man's. We admitted our wrongs honestly, and we're willing to set these matters straight. I can't say enough about, doing this work. That, there's a freedom that comes with this that no self-help book gave me, no therapist ever gave me, though I will say everything I've done to get to this moment has helped me to get here, but they were not the solution to my alcoholism. This work is the solution, and I'm grateful that I stayed and I started talking to people and I was willing to ask for help, all to humble myself, all to get right-sized so that I could get back down here to where everyone is. I'm no different from anybody else. I'm right here in the middle. I'm part of the pack. And, today I really, I still do the same things that I've done all along. I've never found it necessary to stop going to meetings. I've never found it necessary to stop working with a sponsor. This is my solution. It's a way of life for me. This book came from that Big Book Step Study meeting that I went to in my second year of sobriety. I thought I stole it. I'm like, I'm taking that. That's mine, right? Like, I'm so arrogant, man. Then I found out later on that they were free. There you go. Take that. Yes. So this book has been with me for quite some time, and it has saved my life over and over again. And I couldn't do it without any of you. So I thank you. That's it for me. Thanks.